everybody, it's Melissa and we're talking about the top 3 best niche fragrance brands. And this video is mainly for people that are getting started in the fragrance game, for the beginners that want to make that transition from designer to niche, or maybe you just randomly got into fragrances and you don't care for the designer scents at the mall and you just want to start smelling really luxurious, but you want it to be mass appealing. All right, so that's the main thing here, is that a lot of fragrances from these brands, and I have personal experiences with them, work wonders when you're wearing them around people that just don't even care about fragrances, which are a majority of people that you're going to be interacting with. So compliment factor through the roof with these. I'm not here to showcase things that are going to give you status, because I think that honestly that type of talk is bullshit, because people, again, don't know fragrances. All right, so we're going to start with a brand called Parfums The Marley. I got a couple of their fragrances here. This is Delina exclusive. This is Sedley, and I'm just holding the bottles just for reference to see what it looks like. The feminine bottles, the ones marketed to women, I think they only come in the 75 ml, which is honestly, it kind of sucks, because the guy ones come in like the 125 ml. You know what I mean? Now, price point on Parfums The Marley's can be upwards of $300, all right? So that's already a pretty steep price point, but I think what you have to know with niche fragrances is that spending upwards of $200 is not going to be uncommon. There are so many that I've seen that are priced at $800, so many I've seen priced at $500. So just know that if you're trying to get a great bang for your buck, you're better off not getting into niche right away. All right. So what I love about Parfums The Marley is they have a lot of likable fragrances. All right. I've made so many videos on this brand, and don't get me wrong, there are scents from them that I don't enjoy, like Greenlee and Galloway. Valleja is kind of hit and miss for me, but for the most part, I like more fragrances from the brand than I dislike fragrances from the brand. And in fact, that's typically switched with me, where whenever I try a niche brand, there's one fragrance that I love and everything else is just a complete miss. An example of that is Raja Parfums. You know how much I love Elysium. I've made so many videos on it. I'm almost done with my bottle, but Elysium is carrying the weight of Raja for me. If it wasn't for Elysium, I wouldn't really care about that brand. Another example is something like Amouage. Actually, Amouage is not the best example for this, because I've yet to find a fragrance that I gravitate to from that brand. To me, everything I've smelled there, I know it gets a lot of love on social media, but me personally, I don't really feel that way about it. All right. The next brand I'm going to talk about is Precious Liquid. All right. You've heard me talk about Salt and Pepper a lot, and also Blue Agave. This is actually my second bottle of Blue Agave. All right. Because the first bottle that I had, somebody bought it off of my collection. My cousin's boyfriend told me, he's like, Auntie Melissa, I want to smell amazing. I have YSL YEDP, which is a recommendation I put him on. And he was like, it's smelling too basic now, and I got my brother Bleu de Chanel. It also smells basic. I want something different, but still good, right? So the very first thing I showed him was my bottle of Blue Agave, the other one that I had. And he smells it. He sprays it on himself. He loves it. And then my cousin, his girlfriend, smells it on him. And she's like, oh, that's really, really nice. And he's like, I'll take it. And he just pulls out this wad of cash. And mind you, it was around, I think, Thanksgiving or Christmas. And we were both kind of buzzed. And he just like gives me a wad of cash. And I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine. Just have the bottle of it. All right. But even till now, he'll tell me, he's like, my cologne smells so good. Nobody smells like me. All right. The reason I bring up Precious Liquid is because they have 2 price points. So their luxurious side here is $275 for 75 ml. And I know for a lot of people that's crazy, right? Again, remember what I said in the beginning of this video. Prices for niche fragrances, they're just like that. That's how they come. Now, the reason I'm showing this one, even though they have a private blend, not a private blend, a limited collection version of Blue Agave now that comes in this bottle, these I believe run for $130, something like that, right? So it's more on the affordable side. It's 50 ml, so you can kind of experiment that way with them. All right, but Salt and Pepper and Blue Agave, love these fragrances. I love Mandarin. I love, Oud Symphony, I don't like wearing, but I love smelling on other people. They just have so many bangers. It's the same thing as Parfums The Marley, that I enjoy more fragrances here than I dislike. But trust me, there are some that I'm not really rocking with. For example, iced juniper isn't my personal favorite. And there's what's that other one that kind of smelled like a park? No, I think that was iced juniper. Iced juniper is the one that I really remember being like, Sweet Tonka was okay. But for the most part, the fragrances that I've tried from this brand, I'm like, okay, people are gonna love on those. And that's just my personal experience when I've worn them, and also when I've had people come in my room, smell my collection, and then just try it on themselves. They're like, oh man, this is so good. So I've gifted a couple Parfums. Well, Parfums The Marley has been my immediate family, but I've gifted some precious liquid fragrances to other family members, and they love it. So it just goes to show that they enjoy it, people around them enjoy it, and they're not fragrance fanatics. So you know that these perform really, really well if you're looking for a scent that is going to make you smell unique because nobody else has it, but it's going to be super likable so everybody wants to smell like you, all right? And the last brand I'm going to talk about is Montblanc. So I have in my hands Intense Cafe. To me, Intense Cafe Ristretto was better. That would just be my recommendation if you want something to smell like you want to smell coffee sweet, right? Now, Montblanc isn't a personal favorite brand of mine, but the reason it's on this list is because of the affordability. Now, when I first got this bottle of Intense Cafe, I believe it was like 60 bucks or $80. It was between that range. I'm sure now that it's upwards of $100. In fact, one of my followers a few months ago said that their bottle of Intense Cafe ran them, I think, 130, but it's for an 100 ml, right? Which is more than what it was when it was priced the time that I got it, right? So I was just like, dang, like it's really going up in price. So right now I can't really say exactly what it is, but the reason I'm mentioning Montblanc, even though it's not my favorite when it comes to smells, is the fact that the performance is really, really good. And that's something that stumps a lot of people when they try niche fragrances. They have something they enjoy the smell of, but they're like, why can't I smell it on myself after 3 hours, after 4 hours? And this is another conversation to be had, just because with fresh fragrances, having something that's gonna push for a very, very long time, like a sweet scent, is a rarity, you know? So just kind of keep that in mind. But Montblanc does really good at putting out powerful, strong fragrances. So if you're somebody that just really is going more for longevity, and you like sweet scents, you want something that is definitely going to be more unique, because these type of fragrances are, I think they're like Middle Eastern fragrances. They don't play around. All right. So that's the main reason Montblanc is on this list, because they have a wide variety of fragrances. I can't even tell you how many they have. They have so much, trust me. But the longevity on them is insane. We're talking a couple sprays will last you all day, you know, and to me, that's a bit too much. I don't mind having a fragrance that I could do 5 sprays of and then it just lasts on me for a decent amount of time and it's good in my scent bubble. But this brand is for the people that are like, no, I want to smell myself. All right. And a quick disclaimer, you probably will still go nose blind to your fragrances, and that's normal. I've made a video on that before. You can go watch it if you don't know what that means. But just because you can't smell it on yourself 24/7 doesn't mean the fragrance is no longer there. All right. But again, these fragrance brands, fire. And no, this is not a sponsored video. I will let y'all know if anything is a sponsored video, but all of these definitely get my seal of approval. All right, I hope y'all have a great day. Let me know what your favorite niche brands are in the comment section below. And the last thing I'll say is just emphasizing that this is for people that are just starting, all right? Not for people that are already into the niche game. And because I'm sure if you try these brands, you might not really care as much, right? You really want things that are much more polarizing. So when you're gonna put your comments down below, suggest fragrance brands that you really think are a good start for the average person, not for someone that's already kind of a niche snob, you know? Anyways, have a good one. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye.